Got up their sleeves, Vitality, a team that you expect to be very well prepared coming into a tournament. The Cascades coming on through. Obviously, 2 Cascades now in a round as Bisk tries to check that one, but it ain't happening anytime soon.
Now you have the double wall to work with. Plant is going to come through pretty easily as well. Walls all over the place is the story of A, and it's probably going to be that way for the rest of the game here too.
kyrrz gets 1 here, so it's 4 versus 4 as they push in Destrian. Very aggressively stepping forward, but goes wide on the headshot. shhhack takes him down. MOLSI now on the scene, looking for a couple of shots himself. 3v3 as ceNder gets yet another one. Great little flash over the top of the pyramids there. With the gate crash. kyrrz trying to get up close and personal with MOLSI, but gets his head taken clean off of his shoulders. shhhack answers it. 2v2 now, but running out of time. Headhunter in hand for Twisten. As he looks straight, but goes wide. It's jonba to get it. ceNder denies the defuse. Just playing for time. Playing as long as you possibly can. ceNder steps out. jonba gets it, but he's out of time. And this spike will explode.
I mean, ceNder the one to buy the time in the end, but what a great effort for MOLSI. Staying on side on his own for as long as every time he peeks towards yellow on the
a high tide to block off the majority of ways into the side.
I do feel like pistol rounds are the rounds, though, where he will have the bigger benefit. Now, I mean, obviously not this round, but rounds to come where we get the proper gun rounds on both sides. That's where I'm afraid that his wall will not have the same impact that we're seeing it have right here. Because look at this right here. You get the first wall in, then the second to follow. You clear it instantly.
Look at the minimap. The double walls across this site. It's impossible to get any defensive shots in before the spike is down, especially when you then factor the cove into the equation. Any random spray will be blocked as well. So Vitality do get that spike down very quickly here.
Very similar fashion to the previous round. Destrian this time around. Nice headshot. Mid-air finds one. shhhack down to low HP as well. Oh, what nice return fire coming through.
Yeah, Destrian thinking he was going to be in a different position. 12 HP as kyrrz has found himself a little SMG. Wants a bit of that action, stepping on forwards. I don't think they know he's there. Steps out, but can't quite find the shots. And it will be Vitality. Finish off the other side, though. KPI all in light armor. It's not quite as full of a buy as you'd be hoping for. But we'll see if they can make it happen anyway.
Yeah, spread out early on. No one really opting to take the aggressive mid-control here. The wall is up. As Harbour has deployed it, but Bisk is going to be the first one to fall. Tried to go aggressive, but MOLSI punish him.
And no command coming on through. Cascade to try and entry into the site as well. Bit of a tough one as the fake out going to be used. shhhack, though, not dissuaded. The walls for days onto the A site once again as MOLSI gets all the way into things and tries to find his angle. Twisten looking for the headshot and will find it. Onto Insider. Can't get the second, though, as jonba gets the answer.
Oh, great timing of Internal. Unfortunately, couldn't find number 2. Now the ult comes through. Viper's pit is there. If enough vision wasn't blocked off already, but shhhack finds him through. And just like it came up, it went down again.
I was going to say, a second ago, everything on the site was obscured. The second that Viper falls, suddenly not so much. And now, an opposite Viper's pit, but it's not going to stop kyrrz. As he grabs himself a little shot onto BONECOLD through the smoke. MOLSI alone, spamming, but it's not going to happen. shhhack gets it. KPI approach the opposite side of the map, and it looks like that is the lean coming out. High tide up across the top of middle.
Just complete isolation on the, as you said, the top side of mid with the high tide there. Nothing to come forward, of course. That is the wall used early on. And how much do you gain from it? Twisten pushed up close. They're trying to take control of tunnels here as well, but kyrrz is just over on the other side. And doesn't seem like he's planning on leaving anytime soon. Clone comes through. ceNder. First shot fired. Now realizing, well, it's not the real Euro.
No. Just getting the headshot, but then dipping out behind the flash. So it doesn't get blinded. Fake out. Not going to find the opportunity they were hoping for. Vitality, though, I think still looking towards that B side. Playing a slow default here, but that does feel like the direction they'll go. Throwing out that toxic screen, but I think it's all a bit of a bait.
Yeah, no, so far it hasn't really worked for them. Quite the contrary. Euro continues to push himself further forward. You have Chamber set over towards the cave side of things too. And in the meantime now, back towards B we go. MOLSI is here. They're all here, really, setting up a play going forward.
It's been read by KPI. There are 3 defenders on the site, but not finding the shots from inside of Twisten. Getting that one. It's a great little start to the attack from Vitality. Crucial round for them too, and wow, they're making short work of it. MOLSI all over it like a rash. And suddenly Bisk all the way on the other side of the map, has that rifle, is very likely just going to hold on to it.
The utility that we're seeing coming through from Vitality, the way that they're able to isolate angles, and even though they're pushing into what was kind of a three-man stack and what they had left to play with, it becomes so easy for them to take these fights one by one, so that every single time KPI tries to peek, try to get anything going their way, they know, Vitality knows there's only one gun looking in their direction, and they're an entire firing squad looking the same way back.
Yeah. And, MOLSI especially there, just pushing very aggressively, make sure nobody can move up. And as I mentioned, him gets one right between the eyes. ceNder wants to hunt for Bisq here, wants to take that rifle, but Bisq doing some serious work. BONECOLD now, next on the chopping block. As Bisq, I mean, they were trying to hunt him. Turns out Bisq is the hunter. I mean, he is the one who knocks.
You send one. If he dies, fair enough, we tried. You send the second, he dies, okay.
Vitality clearly still comfortably ahead in utility with the round advantage they've got.
Starting to build up some money now as well. Again, I mean, utility used and a push to follow, but Destrian up through tube here. Not a whole lot of aggression other than that. The drone not spotting anything comes through now. Spots one instantly. Destrian, though, able to win it despite the two people peeking through.
And I love it. I love this from Destrian, right? Using that cascade to move up tube and then finds his close range fight. BONECOLD gets one as well. The Cove buying even more space. But the attackers have just completely abandoned A. They've made that aggressive push up, now move over to B.
Yeah. Initially slowly making their way on forward, but now you can only imagine that there's going to be a follow-through once the drone realizes that there's no opponents here, and indeed it is. Chamber, Twisten first one to make his way on in jonba. It's just on the other side of this wall, but this should be a very free plant for Vitality.
Yeah, great little spot from Twisten here. If anyone does try and push in, should be the first on the scene. Fake out being used here to try and clear away the tunnels, but shhhack, great little find onto ceNder. That's a lot of the utility gone as well with the Viper taken out of the scene. Bit of tag onto MOLSI through the wall there from shhhack. 3v3, it's possible. Dimensional drift could be huge, but Twisten finding two. We said he was in a good spot. Is he in a good enough spot? The answer is yes.
Yeah, solid positioning from him, finds the first. I like the idea of them trying to push in from each their side.
And now we'll see what KPI going to be able to do with some sheriffs. You're up against BONECOLD though, like
you never know.
He's the sheriff master. I don't know if you could bring sheriffs into that situation.
Exactly. Twisten will find the first, though, as once again tonal control goes in favor of Vitality. So 5 up against 2. No full commitment in either one direction. Spike though down towards Cave, down towards A, and you can see now actually we're having MOLSI slowly make his way on over in this direction too.
And I feel like we're already seeing some really solid use of this harbour, right? The cascades to buy control in tube. We keep on seeing the high tides on the sides. Don't feel like we've really seen as much from this Yoru so far on kyrrz side. Like, I'm curious to see what else we'll get from this wacky pick later on in the game.
Doors open. Here comes 3 Vitality players. And instantly they find kyrrz. That is a very open A side. With Insider down, that should be guaranteed.
Yeah.
Spike is there now, just shhhack left alive.
I mean, it's an eco bash, so expect the win, but not even a single point of damage just yet. And Twisten, insult to injury here. Pulls out the shorty, waits for him to turn around. Now that is a style kill if ever I've seen one. It should feel like the crux of the way Harbour's working in the composition.
Usually a lot of people talking about mid control being the full focus when you play attack side on breeze. This time around, it's been tube, and it is once again. The slow comes through. No kill to follow, as I say that Bisq finally able to find the first in there.
Yeah, Destrian trying to use that space that he bought with the cascade, but doesn't work out for him. Bisq getting the first pick for KPI, and I feel like it's important to finally get that online in a round, have that advantage to start a round off. But it is going to be the commit onto this A site. You can see the Yoru alone at the back. kyrrz does end up going down to MOLSI. As now the rest of the team needs to try and reinforce, needs to try and go for the retake, but bit of a trade. BONECOLD and Bisq both going down.
3v3. Plant this down, and now Twisten trying to find the opening of spot shhhack while reloading. Perfect timing on that one there too, and with 2 opponents left, both sat up towards tube, up towards the door.
Yeah.
They have to try and make a play, but with the Viper's pit being down, time's running out.
Yeah, really smart play from Twisten there. Waits for the reload, right? As soon as that spray's done, knows that the player's very likely reloading, goes for the peek. jonba trying to move in here, but finds himself alone on the side. The shorties come out once again. I think jonba's in trouble. Twisten steps out, though, and just takes a bullet to the face. MOLSI finishing the round off. Vitality 6 on the board already. This is a brutal start.
Very, very convincing beginning here for...
Rightly so. You know, BONECOLD is your IGL, literal world champion, so you expect that decision-making to be good. As the high tide comes out on towards this A site again. Or is that... I guess that's blocking tube.
Yeah. There you go. It is.
I'm not an
Flux.
expert on Harbour, I have to admit. I don't know all the lineups. I'm not sure anyone does at this point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe Destrian.
Doesn't block off double doors, but does indeed block off tubes. Now it's gone, though. What did they gain from it? What info did they obtain? I love the fact that Bisq is playing double doors. Not aggressively necessarily, but up close this time around. Again, the mid control. They haven't really had it prior. They haven't needed it much either, but this time around they do, and Twisten goes down as a result of it.
And it's Bisq again to find that first pick. Fantastic in the previous round. Again, gets that man advantage for his team. But on the attacking side, you can still find your own advantage. And I think that knife didn't quite catch him, just ducking out to the side there. BONECOLD narrowly avoiding it.
You can see on the map on the top left side that Yoro has set up a teleport opportunity down towards B. Now the clone is coming through as well. If they opt to make a play on this, there might just be a backstep coming through. That Yoro ain't really moving the way that he wanted it to, so not going to go for the shot already now, though. Here comes the Vitality push on through.
Oh, it's going to be a Hunter's Fury to try and slow this push, but you ain't slowing anything there. The triple peek onto jonba. He got Destrian. That's all he'll get on that one. Now 3v5, the retake. 3v5? 3v2, sorry. shhhack and Bisq. They try and make this happen. BONECOLD looking at the... Whoa, what? He was looking at the wrong angle, but just flicks it on over and takes out shhhack anyway. And now the tour de force has to mean everything. Bisq has been the highlight for KPI so far. But can he make this happen, this clutch moment? And in such an important round in the game as well. It's not going to happen. Decides he needs the rifle. Decides to back away. Yeah,
they're simply sat in too tight on the side. He has very limited to no info to go off of with the wall having been up for as long as it had. And it's just not worth the risk, really. Especially looking at the economy that they had coming into it. You really want to keep that Vandal into the next round.
Speaking of economy as well, look at the players from Vitality. Like, both ceNder and MOLSI. 8,000 credits moving into the next round. That's before, you know, the stuff you get in between rounds as well. Like, this is a terrifying situation. At least Bisq gets one bonus onto BONECOLD at the end of things, but my goodness, you know, a lot of people coming into the tournament weren't
typical setup. People go, great, I mean, they know what they're doing, but now they're coming into it with a lineup that really no one has seen before. So maybe it's one of those where will Vitality be the team that teams are going to go to try and set up some of these comps too? That's
going to be one of the questions. Does everyone else now start looking towards? I mean, it makes sense that Harbour would be on Breeze. They are on the seaside. There's access to water.
Lot of all that too, but also just there's a lot of open areas, a lot of areas that you can easily log off. But now, let's see here, 1:15 still on the clock. Push slowly.
One interesting interaction I saw there as well. I just want to quickly mention. Insider got the KO knife while the high tide was coming on through, and it meant that the high tide just goes in a straight line, right? You can't actually direct it from that point. So one bit of counterplay available there. MOLSI with the 0 point looking to get in onto this side, but the high tide comes in, the cascade comes in, Twisten finds one onto shhhack, and now the chance to move on in, but ceNder finding Bisq, finishing him off. ceNder on that flank through tube, finds a second as well, and ceNder absolutely sending it in this round.
I'm loving the fact that they held back for a little while longer. They wanted to wait for Viper to get that kill from inside tube. Now ceNder able to find one more. This should be on complete lockdown unless if maybe kyrrz has something to say about it. Does he go for the gun? Nah, not even, because BONECOLD's there to find him.
BONECOLD knows exactly where he is. Finishes.
I was going to say with the ult up, with the ult up for Viper, which would say, I think the counterplays just instantly pop it and deny them that access from cave.
Yeah. So, A site, not going to be an option. Fair enough. MOLSI taken down as well in the middle of the map. But actually with two defenders there, and you can see Yoru being a bit of a trickster over on the B site. You do always have to be a little bit cautious. I feel like Yoru is one of those agents that there are very few teams that are automatically prepped for Yoru.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Yoru is one of those wacky agents that everyone plays a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's also because he's been played so little.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you try and plan out how is the opposing team with the Euro on their team planning on using him, what are we going to do against it? And so far, it's been I don't want to say passive kyrrz we've seen over towards B, but it's been a more like he's been waiting for the push to come through. The times we've seen him try and set up the TP down towards the backside of B main, it's been the setups, but the plays have never come through from Vitality that allows him to utilize those setups the way that he would have wanted to.
Yeah. Look at this, the double wall onto B once again, but actually a rotation towards A. Trying to get this Viper out of her pit, but it's not going to happen. shhhack staying very strong there, alongside Bisq, who's playing all the way the back towards defender's spawn here. shhhack just waiting. Not willing to give this up. The shorty out for Twisted. Does he know? Yes, he does. Twisted finding, I think, his second shorty kill of the game, maybe more than that. But Bisq does find one. This could be the defense that they require. Spike did go down. It's 4v2, and Destrian, in fact, finds himself in a 4v1. It's not looking good for him, but maybe we can be surprised. Cascade comes back off a cooldown.
Ankle isolated, at least for now. Can't cover all of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Destrian able to find one more, but not going to find anything else in the end. Solid play coming from kyrrz. Not sure if that was intentional, that the top of the Cascade would be up on the pyramid there, but regardless, valiant effort, taken down to just 2.
I do, of course, mean High Tide, not Cascade. Got them mixed up. It is the new agent, in my defense. But yeah, it goes all the way over all of the terrain, covering.
While it's looking difficult for them at a 2-8 so far, if anyone can do it, Bisq maybe can bring them back into this one.
Yeah, Bisq has been good. Bisq has definitely been a highlight player, that's for sure. shhhack, last round, very aggressively, or I guess defensively, but proactively using that Viper's pit. But now Vitality, kind of a slow round as jonba sneaking on through the case. Bisq again, finding a pick. And it does really feel like Bisq, obviously, as the operator player, you expect him to be trying to find these picks, but doing such a good job to find ways into rounds for KPI.
Very active hunting almost for these players that are sitting and waiting for the signs. jonba joining him in cave to find the second. Not only do they take down Twistin, but they get the info on Spike too. Could only imagine that there's going to be some sort of follow-up, but now, with the high tide coming through, they're going to isolate the angle. They're going to try and reclaim the Spike. And that really is as well where, I mean, where your wall's going to help you out, because as your opposing team, you don't know what's waiting on you the other side. So whether it's a bait like we saw last round or this time around, them using it just to get the Spike back.
Yeah. Yeah, pushing enemy players away. And now this should be MOLSI able to grab that Spike for himself. See ceNder moving through mid, regrouping with the rest of the team here. The Cove used just to buy space and to buy time, but oh no, Bisq goes wide on the shot. That was such a crucial pick as well, but makes up for it onto Destrian here. And MOLSI and ceNder just desperate to get that Spike down if they can, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, 2v5, 5 seconds to work with. Not going to happen at all. Do we see the Euro TP come through? I don't think so. Could be interesting. And now ceNder stuck on side wheel pull. And of course to who? To Bisq finds the third of the round. Solid game once again here.
Full Spanish roster. Then swapped out, went to a full Russian roster. And then, you know, after the CIS VRL shut down, they kind of went into this hybrid roster so that these Russian players could still play, but in the Spanish VRL. But you've got to have at least 2 Spanish players there. So it feels like this is just the beginning of this team. They might have to change their roster again to continue playing in the Spanish VRL, but it's kind of exciting to see what potential there is here. Again, very slow rounds from Vitality on the attack, though.
kyrrz spots 4 outside of cave, and you can see instantly he starts his rotation. So you're going, yeah, there's quite a few people over in this direction. Maybe we should fortify. So Bisq ain't sat over here alone. Of course, Bisq alone has proven to be lethal, and now we're seeing once again the standard lineup comes through. Cascade Viper wall, instant to follow. Headshot though from Bisq through the Cascade, finds one.
Okay, the Hunter's Fury trying to shut down Bisq. Everything required to just shut down Bisq. Every ultimate in the game being blasted at him, but surviving at the back of the site. Has the tour de force. Found one already, but obviously MOLSI able to just be picked up by the rest of his team.
And now the entire team is here as well, so bought all the time that he needed to. Viper wall is going to be annoying. wants to peek over the stairs, but with just 9 HP to work with, it's not exactly something you do freely.
Yeah, just hit by a shock bolt coming out from BONECOLD, but kyrrz gets in, finds BONECOLD. And now getting onto this site, trying to find a way in. Flash on through the wall, taking space here. 3 players remain from Vitality, but the defuse is just going to come on through. It's stuck and it's defused. Vitality will get some kills, but they don't matter. It's the end of the half.
I mean, again, the amount of layers that you have to walk through in order to penetrate that side. Of course, the Vitality has us locked in the bank already. If it wasn't because what we saw from Bisq. His ability to find good off-angle positions and get kills. He can do it in defense. kyrrz, see if he can do it on attack too, Twisten. Catches the clone, knowing now that kyrrz is right around the corner. Finds him instantly there after 2.
Nice one there from Twisten. You know, kyrrz is a player I'm looking towards in this second half. I want to see this Yoru. I want to see what kind of shenanigans can come out on that attacking side. Obviously not this round, but we'll keep our eyes on that. Vitality still playing spread. It's just MOLSI alone on the A site. Little does he know there's an entire team just in those caves.
Yeah, KPI off to a great start here. They lost kyrrz early, but they found 2 in return. And now Bisq, all they pushed on side, has Insider there with him as well, able to find the second.
Yeah. Surgical precision there from Insider. Takes out his opposite man. Destrian and Twisten have to go for a 2v4 retake, but Twisten gets the first. Certainly a good start. It's a good little flick from Destrian, but not enough. An Insider shows him how a flick is done. Twisten, there's no point in saving. There's nothing to save here, so you expect him to move in and try and make this round happen. There are a couple of low health bars. He can find that first headshot to Bisq, but it's not going to happen. And Bisq, again, taking out his opposite man.
Yep, this one, we'll see what he can find as he sits over towards A. A 4-man stack towards A on the side of Vitality. It's just Twisten going for info, but he's going to run straight into a position right around the corner here. Fortunately, able to not only get away, but get away without any damage done.
How did nobody take any damage?
I don't know.
Nobody took a single bullet there. So Marshall comes out, BONECOLD up top mid. We'll find a shot for the time being. A shhhack somewhere. Found a wall bang headshot onto ceNder. jonba now wants to find his way in. Twisten though with the classic up close. You know that you can always win those kinds of fights, and now has an SMG to work with, but it looks like it is going to be B site.
Gun obtained, and with the light buy coming in from BONECOLD as well. It might just be a world where they turn this one around. Still no full commits come through just yet. Twisten gonna run into a surprise. Comes around the corner. Will find the first though, as we make it a 3v3.
I didn't even think he'd got it then, but yeah, manages to find the 1-for-1.
Right there.
But still 2 defenders over towards A site, so you should expect this to go down. Destrian waiting, but Gatecrash doesn't come on through. Bisq backing up here, but just gets a headshot. But Insider trades it. 2v2 Spike needs to get down onto the site at this point. In comes MOLSI, trying to make his way on. BONECOLD looking for the wall bangs, but this flash going to force him away for a split second. kyrrz hoping to find these players, using that shoulder peek, but MOLSI in behind him, jumping up to try and get these shots. The flash comes on in. Insider, caught in a corner here in a 2v1, but has the Bulldog to work with. Reload underneath the rock here. MOLSI moves forward, but gets his head cut in half. 4, because now Vitality obviously coming in with a full bar.
Yep, they will have the superiority, as I say that. Now, of course, weaponry on the side of Vitality to deal with a full committed push over towards B early on. That's going to grant them at least the plan for free as they find MOLSI as well.
Yeah, so plan already down. Very fast push in here from KPI. But Vitality, 4 players to try and make this retake happen. They would have loved to be able to get MOLSI out of that fight and go for the full 5-man, but you can only work with what you've got. Trademark does get spotted out, but obviously still gives away that information. BONECOLD about to peek there.
A lot of things to worry about here is to try to push further forward. jonba will fall down. BONECOLD again. I mean, every angle, there could be a trap, there could be a TP waiting to be utilized. They have to play this so slow issue as the plan is already down. Twisten will find one, but as the clock runs out, you feel like you can't commit to this one at this point.
Yeah, and just looking for exit frags, right?
Yeah.
Looking to try and do damage to the economy. Twisten, waiting for anyone. The knife, not going to reveal him.
Vitality to play it slow, and in the end here, too slow, really.
Yeah. But now the scoreline, I mean, let's just quickly mention the fact that it was 8-1 in the attacking half. It was 8-1 to Vitality. It's 6 rounds on the trot for KPI. This is a comeback 1.5 right here. And Vitality, the team that should be a heavy favorite coming into this one, getting picked apart. And once again, Bisq starting around.
We say heavy favorite, and I agree with you as an overall team, but we also have a situation where KPI has a 90% win rate on Breeze. If there's one map they're supposed to be able to battle some of these tough contenders, you'd have to imagine that that's the game where they've literally won 90% of their matches.
Yeah, I mean, this is their map pick. You would hope that they can find it. Obviously, was Vitality picking which side they wanted to go on. They picked that attacking side to start the game off. And now KPI on their own attacks. Having a fantastic start to the half. Can they keep it up? 4 rifles still in play for Vitality. It's definitely a winnable round. And you can see just the 4 stack on the defense here. Oh, sorry, 3 stack. With just your Sentinel over on B.
Time is ticking, just 30 seconds left now. They have to commit. It's now exactly when they does. Bisq first one to fall, but the Viper's pit is there to follow. Flux is coming through as well as kyrrz finds one in return.
ceNder trying to get into an aggressive position, but MOLSI at least finding some kind of answer. And now 3v3, this is feeling possible. jonba, sorry. I assumed it was Bisq by default because I saw an operator. Goes down to MOLSI in the end. Destrian moving on to the site as well. kyrrz, 20 HP and now suppressed as well. Both players spotted out. kyrrz gets one, but Destrian answers it. And suddenly shhhack has to make something incredible happen here. Drops out, but actually the molly bounced back off the enemy player towards him there. shhhack finding another gun to try and spam through the smoke, but the defuse goes through anyway. Both players 1 HP at the end of that, thanks to the Viper's pit.
When you're on, like, it just becomes impossible because they can spend so much time isolating that potential defuse.
Yeah. So, Vitality, importantly, they halt this march of KPI of getting, 6 rounds on the trot. And now Vitality, they're the ones with a stronger buy. You can see Insider only with that Sheriff. No armor whatsoever on Bisq, so when he's going for these more aggressive peaks that we've seen all game long, it does make it a little bit more risky for him.
Well, with the way that he's been hitting headshots, you have to imagine with the Guardian, he should be able to do it too. Now, let's see. Ult committed to as kyrrz sprints in on B site. Is there any follow-up instantly? No, he's going for information.
Dimensional drift. Is he going to pop out? Here we go. Goes for the fake out, but can't quite find his headshot on the initial play. Now suppressed. Now flashed up. kyrrz stuck at the back of this pit, and they know exactly where he is, so they can play around that back. Twisten finds his shot. Finds a headhunter as well to follow it up. Twisten on the scene. jonba gets one at least, but I don't know, you're going to need more than that if you want to win this attack, because Vitality are on top of it.
I was going to say, I love the fact that Insider commits to try and help out his teammate up towards the backside of B. Once he doesn't get the initial shot, as he comes out of Dimensional Drift, he goes, oh my god, he's now caught behind enemy lines. I got to come up and try and help him out. But Twisten just there, ready to deal with both of them.
Twisten's like, oh, there's 2 of you? No worries, I've got 2 bullets. I can deal with that. jonba does get one onto Destrian. Evens things up just a little bit.
10 seconds left.
And it's a bit of a Viper on Viper situation here. shhhack up against ceNder. shhhack wants to get this plant down. 2 seconds. Is it going to be quick enough? Just about. And actually finds the 1v1. I was so sure ceNder had that, but whiffs the shot. And now suddenly, things actually look pretty good for KPI. jonba's in such a good spot. He is in such a good spot. MOLSI knows, though. MOLSI with his 6th sense finds jonba. And now they should be able to just trade this. Look at shhhack's HP, 5 HP, and BONECOLD knows it. ceNder will have given that information. The defuse gonna come on through.
MOLSI runs on through. And how? We'll see now. We haven't seen a whole lot of attention up towards mid. This time around, the Euro TP has been put on forward, but no commitment to it just yet. Spikes over towards Cannon in the hands of Insiders. And no early commitment. They get the orb, they get the bait on through all of it. They do. MOLSI falls down.
MOLSI, very aggressive peek there. Just goes for that. Gets traded. Oh, it doesn't even get traded, sorry, just gets taken down in the 2v1. And it does mean that once again, KPI have the advantage. And I feel like so many of the rounds in this game have started with KPI finding an advantage.
And usually it's been Bisq on the backside of those. Now, more walls to follow.
I feel like we're kind of alternating between it being either Bisq making a solid play or someone from Vitality not necessarily respecting their opponent.
Yep.
Bisq and Insider both find the kill for themselves. And Twisten and ceNder, I mean, at this point, do you just save weapons?
I mean, Inside has really risen in the second half of this one. Very impressive plays coming through. That time around to find the off angle peak as well. And now, as you were saying, I mean, 2v5 with, well, you got some utility to work with an AWP in hand.
Yeah.
The Vandal there as well. Not looking at the greatest economy coming into the next round.
Yeah.
You might as well just want to save this.
And KPI have had such a better half.
Oh, yeah.
Here, like managing to, like I said, have that winning streak. Now getting another one here in round 18. And I just want to quickly mention SLK, the coach of KPI, actually working with Fnatic a bit at Istanbul as well to help them make their run at Champions. Feels like you can see a lot of that strategic depth coming out here.
Oh, definitely.
And bringing out the Yoru, trying to play a little wacky. And even up against this Harbor, with a different strategy coming out from Vitality, feeling comfortable to take these rounds.
Maybe that's what both the teams were thinking. Oh my God, these guys didn't know us way too well. We both have to, we have to come up with something
Yeah.
they haven't seen before.
1 point away from ceNder having that Viper's Pit as well. But Vitality don't really have that much weaponry. An Operator, a Vandal, and then a Stinger and 2 Sheriffs. It's a winnable round, but it's certainly not ideal for them.
Push comes through. Plant committed to. They will get the plant as well, but instantly the walls to follow on the side of Destrian.
Kyrrz just stuck here, but finds a 1v1 and manages to get out with the gate crash as well. Twisten at least finding Bisc. It's one. It's a pick. BONECOLD with his deagle finds a kill for himself, but can't turn it into a second jonba. Does answer it and gets the trade. Twisten now moving into the site. Knows he's going to try and make something happen. Insider in the caves. Going to be able to spot out the players. Knows someone's close, but Twisten doesn't care. That ain't a sniper, that's a shotgun. shhhack does find the answer. 2v1 now. jonba buying time. shhhack finding heads.
For a moment there, I was thinking, does Vitality even realize the plant's been, the spike's been planted? Because they were all over. We were seeing fights in mid, we were seeing fights in the backside of Cave, and in the end, and all of a sudden we talked like economy favoring Vitality. It's looking the complete opposite right now.
Yeah.
So this round, should KPI be able to bring it home, that might just be map over.
Certainly could be. This round is critical, and Twisten once again has that shorty in pocket. Obviously, we'll use the tour de force as well in this round. And it feels tense, right? Much slower push. kyrrz going to be going for that one, but Twisten finds the first shot off the round. Hunter's Fury not really doing as much as they would have liked. ceNder gets one. shhhack answers it. 4v2 though. jonba and Bisc just getting picked apart here. It's a tough one.
Yeah. It's not looking too good. Bisc trying to wrap around. Forced to go back. jonba now trying to go a little bit of aggressive, but instantly found by Twisten, and now it's just Bisc left alive. It does find BONECOLD, but limited time. Doesn't have the spike either. There you go. MOLSI will deal with him too. So 11-9, finally rounds going in the favor of
deciding to save that bit of cash.
You want to play? Let's play.
Are they going to get him the orb for the dimensional drift to come through? They're going forward. But with ceNder there, with his ult already popped, there's nothing keeping him from trying to spray on through. Finds kyrrz. Now in return, here comes the shotgun. As Bisc finds one, finds the second as well, and that's all of A side cleared.
Yeah, Bisc absolutely tearing this round up. We were saying how Twisten loves a shorty. Well, Bisc does too. The tour de force in play as well. 2 so far. Vitality need to get this one. They need to keep the ball rolling, but I don't think KPI are going to let them. 4 rifles in play. Bisc obviously with the tour de force, but taken out by BONECOLD. Good little headshot across the side there. BONECOLD looking for more through the Viper's Pit. But the spike is already down. They've got to get moving if they want to be able to win this round.
Time is ticking. As jonba backs off again. It's these constant small battles of going out, peek, apply some pressure, then back off when he realized they're running off to Twisten. Tries to commit to the run on through, but met by the melee Vandal from shhhack. He will be found in return, but time again taking, and now the ult coming through. That it should just be complete denial of any really access here.
Yeah, BONECOLD doesn't have the time to get the spike. It's a 10th round for KPI, and yes, they lost a lot of weaponry, but so did Vitality, losing everybody. jonba and Insider will take a rifle into the next one. 10-11. And this, in their first series against Bratan Mix, they played Breeze in the first game. They went to overtime in the first game, and they ended up losing out 13-15 to Bratan Mix. I'd be really worried that we could see a repeat history here if they can get to overtime once more. Vitality still need another round, though, so maybe KPI could just string these together. They have been doing a good job of finding these streaks.
And we do still have money on the side of KPI. So even if we go into a 12-10 scenario, they would have money at least for one more round. Destrian. Wall straight into the face of kyrrz as he's forced to back off, at least for now. Now the wall falls down, though, spots him, though. And that's kyrrz taken out.
It swings around. kyrrz falls. Man advantage for Vitality. KPI still undecided on which side, but it's looking like an A-lean. It's looking like they probably will commit here, but with ceNder finding another pick onto Biz, they are still going to go for it, looking to get that spike down. ceNder with one. KPI, though, turn it around with Insider. 2 headshots on the scene here. Wants to find more. 3v2. And now Destrian looking to deny the plant. He's in an awkward spot, but can't quite find the pick. It's Twisten instead that walks on forward. Spike's still not down. Insider knows exactly where he is. Finds a third one. This would be 5 if he can turn this round around.
The fact that he's staying alive, despite the reckoning being used, then the opposing team constantly getting in for his position. Impressive to say the least. 10 seconds, though.
10 seconds on the clock. 2 players to deal with 3 kills in the bank already. He's running out of time. He's just got to get it down, but Twisten finds him. It could have been the miracle round there for Insider, but not. It's been about the entry.
Yeah.
Which team gets that first kill? And I'd say the vast majority of those have been converted into rounds. But here we go. Fast play towards B here. kyrrz gets suppressed. That knife from KO. Kind of ruining everything there, to be honest, for KPI.
You already have the Viper wall from Vitality over towards B, and you have Harper sat there ready and waiting too, so they knew, or at least anticipated, that the focus was going to be on B this time around. Viper able to push further forward, so is BONECOLD. They're getting so much info off of KPI not opting to aggress on this.
Yeah, I mean, difficult to aggress with MOLSI using that ultimate. Twisten playing up close and personal. It's a fake. Dodges the flash, turns around and gets himself a kill. The shorty not enough there. MOLSI with one as well. And that might be everything. Need something special here from KPI. 3 people still staying towards B, not opting to change things. But look at where ceNder is right now. Sneaking all the way around from behind. He's spotted Insider. Will just go for the shot. That's the spike down as well, and he knows it. Now peeking through window with a second, and it's ceNder to send it here. Biss gets one, but MOLSI trades it. And Vitality take their first map.
What a game, and what an end to it as well. The lurks got to keep on lurking. Tricky situation to bring home.